the sentence that the judge gives. Some sit in the cells with their books. They use the time to feed their minds, don't care about the dirty looks. Yo, I take for what it took to be a crook. Push your head, yo, I'll never...
Hey everyone, how we doing? And welcome to a special edition of Inside the Gorilla Position. We're going to call this Wednesday night wrap-up. I just couldn't wait. I needed to talk about the WrestleMania results. I needed to talk about Monday Night Raw and some of these things. Before I let anybody in the room, you know, one of the things that really, I don't know at times. I feel like I want to take myself off of social media altogether. Because some of the things that you read, and it's not to do with the people in our specific realm. I'm in a lot of different chat rooms that talk about wrestling. My Facebook page is probably filled with 3/4 of it is people that have to do with wrestling or like wrestling. And I just think that there's the wrestling fan in general has become a very spoiled person. We nitpick about everything about the sport instead of enjoying it. And yes, we all put our little twist on what we feature or what we feel we would do with giving the pen or pencil to a company. But we live in the U.S., and opinions are like assholes, and everybody got one. And this asshole, my opinion is, can't we all just get along? Without further ado, let's get this WrestleMania wrap-up underway. I'm going to first bring in my brother from another mother, the AP OC himself. How we doing tonight, brother?
Tired, so I'm not going to be that long. I get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning, so.
All right, brother. Next, let me bring the AJP, Adam Jack Pelly. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm all right, brother. How are you?
Doing well. I smoked a deer on the way home, so we almost didn't have a show tonight.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How are you doing? You all right?
I'm all right. They had to shoot the thing in front of my daughter, which wasn't, she's not doing too well.
That sucks.
Next, we can tell that this guy, who I thought was one of the most hottest people in the world to mess with him, but evidently by the name on his nameplate tonight, the Armchair Booker. I post something and automatically this kid with the guilty conscience thinks right away I'm talking about him. Had nothing to do with the fact that he wrote a whole spiel that he should just send to LinkedIn if he really wants to be a booker in the WWE. So without further ado, let me bring into you another brother from a different mother. I love him to death. The Armchair Booker himself.
Sandy Vagina Capelli. Wow.
Oh, the arm is freaking killing me right now.
Oh,
killing me.
I'm surprised you're not. I'm surprised you're not in a giant tub right now, melting.
I don't melt, brother. I gotta own it.
Oh,
listen,
buddy, look at
I'm gonna be an
automatically. I put up a post, and you think right away I read your fucking WrestleMania wrap up, which I didn't.
It's hard when you're spineless, you know, because that's what happens when you don't show up. You're spineless.
Spineless for what?
He's talking about fucking Forbesy.
No, I'm gonna rib Mike. Mike made the last show. Mike was like, "Oh, the other two aren't here. Well, they're fucking spineless."
I was talking about more about Forbesy, you know, because again, the mouth is not here.
If you're gonna make a comment of the Armchair Booker, then damn right, I'm gonna fucking own it,
buddy. It really. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. It had nothing to do with you. It had to do with I'm in like Mike in a bunch of different other chat things about pro wrestling, and your news feed is just filled with so much fucking stupidity. It isn't even funny.
Good time.
How do I sound coming in? Because this is a new computer.
Sound good.
Oh, sounds good, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Except for, we can also hear the sand pouring out of your vagina, but you know.
Listen, pal. Listen. My vagina is fucking shaved right now. Don't you worry. It's nice and clean.
Forbes was just on here, but I was too late to let him in.
He's spineless. He's spineless. That's what it is. He's got a yellow streak going down his back.
Spineless clown.
He
is.
talks a good game, but doesn't show up.
Here he is, the most pessimistic wrestling fan.
Whoa. Shut up, clown.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you had a fucking
Ding dong.
The most pessimistic wrestling
You should
fan
know your own name, you moron.
in the history of pro wrestling.
Forbesy, did you
Everybody want to kiss the ring?
Shut up.
Did you die your fucking here?
Shut up, clown himself, Mr. James Forbes.
I have never heard anybody bitch and whine and complain about opposing opinions in my life than you guys. Not you, Capelli. Not you, AJP.
Wow, kissing ass.
It's some stupidity that you're just not pleased with everything. It's nerving. Now I see why Vince McMahon doesn't listen to the fucking fans.
Are you pleased with everything?
I thought both days were fine.
So did I. Did you hear me?
I thought
Yeah, I did. I heard you complain about saying Kevin Owens got fucking jobbed out.
No, hey, Rumble,
that.
and getting back
Yes, you
back
did.
to the fan today, and getting
You were
back to the
gibbering
fan
back
today.
and forth on a. You were gibbering back and forth on a comment with that kid Nick Allison McKenna. That don't get me started on him either. Ooh, Roman Reigns should give up the title. You're a fucking bozo too, but I'm not gonna get on that.
Oh, here we go. We got one that's a clown king, and we got the bozo king. I love it.
Jesus,
I love it.
Look at this.
Rumble.
How did you think? Listen, did everybody love the fact that Vince McMahon ends up fighting at 70? No, they didn't. But the majority of the fucking the majority, okay, was like, this is fucking awesome seeing 75-year-old Vince, and in the same weekend where Triple H, The Undertaker, they're all putting their and Stone Cold are all putting their histories to rest.
So listen, if we're gonna get into the conversation, let's get it rolling.
Let's go.
But I'll say this on that. It made sense for Vince McMahon to be a part of that because it's the only way you bring out Stone Cold Steve Austin on night 2. That's the only thing that makes sense. So that's why they did it.
I don't disagree with any of it. Do I feel everything in the world is not perfect? You know what I'm saying? You could always stand back from something and find something that you could have did better or could have placed this better. But I like the one thing I'll back you on, Forbes, since you said it was the best WrestleMania since WrestleMania 31.
Hands down. I have no opinions about Mania, guys. None. Yeah, we can talk about the
I thought night 1 was better.
Are we going to start this from?
Go ahead.
Night 1.
Hey, let Capelli, you pick it.
So
let's do it.
I think we should start it because it is technically a weekend. Let's quickly recap Friday night, the Hall of Fame, and then Stand and Deliver, because I thought the Hall of Fame was, I hate the setting, but I thought the way they did it with The Undertaker was great. The Undertaker just being handed the mic and being able to walk around and talk, it was great. I hate the fact that they do it in an arena like that. I liked it when it was more in like a big kind of like stage and more of like an opera setting than it was in the arena.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought the Hall of Fame was done well. It sucks not to be able to hear more from the Steiner brothers.
Yes.
And
agreed.
And there's no reason why Shamel belongs in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Zero.
Agreed.
0.0.
Zero reason for her to be in the Hall of Fame. I like the fact that they gave Shad Gaspar the Warrior Award. I mean, dude, it speaks for itself. The dude fucking gave his life to save his kid. I mean, that's the ultimate fucking warrior.
Yeah,
that award should be the Gaspard Award because fucking Warrior's no fucking hero, dude.
Yeah, I get it.
Wow.
And then I thought Stand and Deliver going into Saturday. I thought Stand and Deliver was well. I got a chance to catch some of it.
I didn't get a chance to watch.
good
it.
pay-per-view.
I thought the ladder match was probably the match of the whole weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's up there in the top 3. I won't take away from Cody and Seth or Edge and AJ, but it was up there.
AJ, yeah.
But it was it was good. I liked Triple H kind of coming out because technically with Tommaso, that's the end. That's it. The black and gold era is dead. It's done. It's over. It's 2.0. That was the end of it.
Well, not really. You got Cameron Grimes that's still there.
No, but Tommaso was one of the last true faces.
Yeah. He was black and gold. He was black and gold.
He was black and gold. So, I wish him the best. I hope he does well in the main roster.
He's going to end up joining Edge's group.
It would make sense if he did. And then we can get into that. But, jumping into WrestleMania, and I will going to go on record, and I'm going to stand by my word. It was a decent WrestleMania overall. I thought there were some good matches. There was some poor shit written. I thought it was booked poorly in the sense of where they put some of these matches. And I agree. Night 1, definitively better than Night 2.
Oh, yeah.
You put, I was starting. I mean, if you guys want to start, again, that was the worst opener of WrestleMania and that I can remember in a long time. Having the Usos versus fucking Nakamura and fucking Boogs as your opener to the biggest, most stupendous show of all time.
They weren't expecting Boogs to tear his quad either.
No, but still, you want to open hot, you open with Becky and fucking Bianca. When's the last time you saw you?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that you should have opened with Becky.
Put the baby face over first match.
Yep, and I mean, in the past, you had Seth versus fucking Randy Orton. Another year, you had fucking AJ Styles versus fucking Chris Jericho.
Yeah, versus Brock too on 35 first match.
Yeah, so I mean, you should have opened hot, and you opened with the fucking Usos versus Nakamura and Boogs. It's terrible. I mean, that's not a hot opener.
It got better from there.
They made up for it though.
Yeah, Undertaker. He had a great
Night 1 was definitely better than Night 2, hands down. And I missed half of Night 1 because I was at the Bruins game, but then I came home and started watching it back. I'm just gonna run down real quick. I thought that.
Go ahead, brother.
I understand. I mean, obviously, Becky going to work from Disney and Marvel. Totally understand why she dropped the title, but it taking time off in the same token should not have had fucking Charlotte Flair beat Ronda Rousey.
No,
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. It
Totally
really
agree.
should have remained Charlotte versus Sasha, which was the original technical plan. But then, obviously they went with Ronda.
Ronda even,
Ronda
even hanging around though.
She's
another 2 years left.
She got a 3-year deal. She is training more full time. But I just, and again, right there, those 2 matches should have been on 2 separate nights. They should not have been on the same night.
Simple. Well, they bumped a New Day match too from night 1
and that should have never happened to begin with. They should have never even had that fucking match.
Yeah.
They could have took out a couple of those matches and put the United States title, the Intercontinental title on the show.
Oh yeah.
All you had to do,
I agree.
You could have did champion versus champion, but not title versus title. That would have been a great match. Ricochet versus Finn Balor. Give him a 25-minute match. That would have been amazing.
Yep. I agree.
But we didn't get that. It was, I thought the Mysterio match surprisingly was good, and it was good because I think a lot of people thought Logan Paul was going to be the shits.
Yeah,
and he was the complete opposite.
Impressive.
He stole that match. To be honest with you,
it was a complete opposite. You know, and I read some fucking marks shitting on Logan Paul for doing the 3 Amigos, and these idiots don't realize that That's him respecting the business and him showing respect to Eddie Guerrero. I mean, that was awesome. And he did it great.
First and foremost, we all know that I guarantee Rey Mysterio had come up with that spot.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sure
so, like, that's the other point that some people don't understand, that it wasn't even him. Guaranteed that match was written by Mysterio.
Probably.
And Miz turning on him at the end of the night means that he'll be back. The feud with Miz.
Yeah, I mean, he's been training a lot. They said he's been training hard. I mean, so I can see him getting involved in it. Why not? You know, I thought
his brother was great on the mic.
Who?
His brother was great getting heat on the mic on the pre-show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
why? I have a question off of WWE. Why does Tony Schiavone always look like he was rolled in a box and just dumped on stage? He's a mess.
I don't know. He is.
Look at
Schiavone,
him,
dude.
It looked like somebody took him, shook him in the box, and said, "Go to work." Continue.
So I'm just pulling up. I'm trying to remember all the cards, so I'm pulling up everything now. Mickey Big says, "Let's him in, Rumble."
All right, there it is.
So Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin. I mean, again, totally predictable. Didn't need to be on the WrestleMania card. It wasn't that great. Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. But again, why are we sacrificing fucking your U.S. title and your IC title for that shit?
Mickey Biggs.
When you see a match on fucking, what's up, Mickey? When you see that same match on SmackDown every fucking week, like that's not a WrestleMania match. You know, there was no need for that match.
You know what else wasn't a WrestleMania match?
What?
Rollins versus The Undertaker. Bad call, Jay.
Hey, I'll be the first to admit.
Wait a minute. Okay, see, you clown, okay? Because you're the one who started that whole thing, and your dipshit twin brother decided to jump on board with it.
Listen. It wasn't that I jumped on board.
You jumped on the bandwagon.
It was my own. It was my own opinion because I felt that they were going to stick to their guns and not debut Cody until the Monday after. I was wrong, and I thought that it would be a couple different people. I thought it might have been Shane's WrestleMania moment. I thought it would have been, the funny thing is, I thought it would have been Forbes' new favorite wrestler, Ezekiel, coming out.
That is the worst gimmick ever.
And I'll just say this, I'm sorry, but to me, I just feel, maybe this is just the fan in me, I just didn't like the way The Undertaker went out in a cinematic match.
Yeah, you don't have to explain, bro. I was with you. I thought it was...
That's all. It's not that I just... That's what I was hoping for that. And I thought maybe money and storyline might have went for the Taker, bumping him around for 6 minutes and it not being nothing. And then it just... It makes everything in a nutshell. It gives you that closure. That's all, man.
I hear you there. You know, I'm in the same boat, but
I just thought it was closure to the story.
It was.
Well, speaking of older guys wrestling, I guess Stone Cold did a lot more than people thought he would.
It was great.
14 minutes.
It was great.
But real quick, before we continue with the WrestleMania thing, I'll say this on the cinematic thing. It was always, regardless, going to be his last WrestleMania. AJ was going to be his last opponent. And after watching the last ride and seeing what he put himself through to be ready for one fucking match, I can see why he would be happy with it ending the way it did.
Yeah.
We as fans probably want to see it differently. And I mean, I'd rather see it done in the ring.
Yeah.
But in the same token, I was happy with it because, I mean, it was phenomenal what they did. Intended. It was phenomenal. It was.
So done. You could just tell his body. He's done. He's
Yeah,
done.
He can. I mean, look at how he walks. I mean, he's beginning to get that fucking slouch.
Yeah,
So,
he had trouble walking. You could tell by walking to the ring that he was, his body is saying, "I'm all set."
New career is like Tony Robbins' motivational speaker.
Buddy, I felt like I was watching the fucking what's that? The 700 Club or the 500 Club?
Yeah,
and he was talking to Jimmy Stewart.
That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I can see it now.
I'll tell you that much.
So, getting back to WrestleMania, obviously we're coming probably to what was the biggest match of both nights, and it was. I thought it was great. I thought the intro was great. I thought the way he came out was awesome. He got a huge pop in Cody. Cody got that huge welcome back pop. They had a phenomenal match. They really did. It was people who haven't worked together.
It was touch and go in the beginning. Yeah, it was touch and go. And in the beginning of the match, you could tell that Cody was definitely nervous.
Oh, yeah.
You could just tell.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, he got it under wraps, and they gave us a good almost half-hour match.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good. And I thought it ended the right way. Cody should have gone over the way he did, and
the whole
it was well.
WWE totally makes sense now because Cody looked like a main event now. And I had my doubts. I never thought he was, but he looks main event.
Well, that's because you got to think about it, right? For Cody, he was brought up in the WWE. That was he was brought up in the business, but he broke in the business and entered the business in the WWE. And like a lot of other guys, he had to leave to get better and find his gimmick and find his way in the business to come back. And now he has a better understanding of it. So I think that's why he can do what he did and can talk the way he talked and be, Cody Rhodes, is because he went out and did it on his own.
To just jump ahead 2 nights, I thought his promo was right from the heart, and it was an exceptional promo on Monday Night Raw.
I have no doubt that those tears were real.
Yeah,
those are real. Yeah, he was holding back, I think, real tears, not fake tears. So I don't think you can't. I mean, you can, but that emotion, that was raw, that was legit. So, I mean, what do you guys, again, I'd say would you guys agree that was probably the match of WrestleMania?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. See that AJ and Edge close second.
Oh,
AJ
yeah.
and Edge is a close second, but I'll tell you why it wasn't when we get there. Well, this is why I don't think it was.
Okay, here we go. I know you guys are going to get on me for this.
Bianca and Becky's too.
But I believe the 2 comedy matches,
loved them.
I thought those should be talked about too, because
we'll talk about them.
Listen, Logan Paul fucking killed it. And the reason I wasn't going to say anything that I knew he was going to kill it out there, but the dude is an athlete to begin with. And he's been a WWE fan, which if you're an athlete and you're used to watching film, you can break down how wrestling's done to a certain extent. And he did a great job at that. And then to see how much he respected the business. And I had to post that because there was so many people out there that get this shit all over but will be like, oh, Snoop Dogg, that was awesome. Oh my God, please.
That's because Logan Paul has legit heat. People just don't like him because his gimmick is being brash on the internet.
Yeah,
His brother's involved in a sex fucking thing. But his brother also does the boxing, and people think it's a schmoz. But I mean, dude, Logan Paul, you know what I really loved most was that WWE exclusive interview he did after the show.
Oh,
he did the WWE exclusive. They do the interview,
okay,
and they're like, and you hear him. He's like, this was an amazing moment. It was shoot, and it was work. He did it both. And he's like, this was an amazing moment. I got to be in the ring with the Mysterio family and the Miz, and this was awesome. And, you know, I proved I can wrestle out there, and I got to do this and that. Hey, it's even better I won. And then she turns around. You got something you want to say to the Miz? After he goes, yeah, you know, well, fuck you. And he must have like, go, fuck you, Miz. Yeah, fuck you. And it was great. And it tells you that there may be some storyline coming up, probably leading into something at SummerSlam.
Yeah. I like this comment, Jeff. Not that I've kayfabed you, but whoever this is, I like this right here. If a new fan watched that, they'd never know he wasn't a professional wrestler. 100% agree.
Agreed. He looks like a wrestler.
I agree with that.
He moves like a wrestler. He wrestled like a wrestler. He sold like a wrestler. He did a phenomenal job. But Roman said he's been training hard like a motherfucker in an interview a couple days ago. So, you know, he's been pumping. So what's it tell you? And he goes the fact that he walks to the ring wearing a $6 million fucking Pokemon card around his neck. but you know, wrapping up, I guess, night one. Obviously, like I said, I've already said how I feel about Becky and Ronda. I mean, Flair and Ronda. It was a good, okay match. I mean, obviously, Ronda just does not have what it takes. She doesn't sell well. She doesn't look like a wrestler out there.
No.
She doesn't. She looks like she gets lost very easy. But I don't know.
Charlotte didn't sell well either.
Let's give a happy hello to Mr. Devin Shiddick. Devin, in order to see a name that comes up with the comment, it only says Facebook user, because you have to, before you put in the big picture, there's a thing you hit, and it brings you in the StreamYard, and it tells us who you are, because it's going through 3 different markets.
But I honestly don't feel that they deserve any type of conversation. The match wasn't that great, and Flair shouldn't have won. But it shouldn't have been Ronda and Flair to begin with. I'd rather talk about Stone Cold
in that match.
Yeah, I'd rather go jumping right over and go talk about Stone Cold and KO.
You do realize, though, why they had to utilize someone like Ronda, right?
Money and tickets, brother.
That's right.
Money and tickets.
Not,
I get it.
Yep. And I think if Bayley was ready by then, I think it would have been a different picture.
She is ready. She's been ready.
Okay. I read she was cleared today. I read that she was cleared.
Yeah. If she was ready, that's one person that should have came out the Raw last Monday night.
Yeah. She said she was sleeping.
She was last on SmackDown, so I think that's where they might bring her.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it would make more sense if she did go to Raw, but I do want to talk about Raw before we wrap up tonight, because that's a whole nother fucking shit show.
All right. So let's talk about the main event of night one then.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
It was great. I loved it. I thought Kevin Owens, you could tell from what I saw, Kevin Owens was in the moment. He was in awe of being in that moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he did a phenomenal job taking care of Stone Cold after 19 fucking years. And I'll tell you, Stone Cold looked good after not wrestling for 19 years. It was punches and kicks, but Forbes, you can't hear you.
Thank God.
Test.
All right, now we can hear you.
I said Stone Cold could have been rolling around the ring in a wheelchair, and it would have been awesome.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that it was Stone Cold, but I mean, dude, he came out. He looked like fucking Stone Cold.
Yep.
You know, he looked good.
He's aging well. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I mean,
kicks were slow. To be expected. Owens fucking pro.
The punches were great. The kicks were slow, but the punches were great.
Oh no!
I mean,
Owens just did I hope Owens is rewarded for that.
Oh, of course. But he got to main event WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I honestly think that that's
That
the
would be
reward
reward
all
enough
in
for me.
itself.
That's the reward. Yeah.
I think when he re-signed that contract, I think that was probably talked to him that if you sign this contract, I'm gonna get the guy that you basically your music sounds like his. He has the same beat. He's just an out of shape Stone Cold Steve Austin without drinking beer.
You know who Stone Cold's music is based off of, right?
No.
Razor Ramones.
Ha 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 ha.
It's Razor Ramone's music, but done a little differently. But his music is based off of the original Razor Ramone. That dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I agree. It's all coming back in my head.
I thought it was well. I mean, love you. Good night. I thought it was. I mean, dude, how could you not? I mean, all of us here grew up in the Stone Cold era, and we were all marks for fucking Stone Cold.
Oh yeah.
So to see him out there after 19 fucking years to get his final moment, that was awesome. It was awesome, and I just thought Kevin Owens did a great job with it. It really wrapped up what was the best night of WrestleMania.
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys want to talk more on it or go to night 2, but
let's go to night 2.
The suck night, you mean? Yeah, sure.
Yep.
So again, you go to night 2, and then let me just pull it up here. Where the hell is it? Main event. What the fuck?
See, I'm trying to figure out what I really didn't like about night 2.
New Day getting.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's talk about the positives of night 2. Number 1, probably the one of the best stunners ever taken compared to The Rock. Austin Theory, that stunner was fucking awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
And there's people shitting on him for taking it like that too.
Oh no!
Why not take it like that?
I know I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying that there are marks out there that are shitting on Austin Theory for taking it that way.
I thought the Raw tag team match was awesome. I thought that was one of the best triple threat tag team matches I've ever seen.
That RKO, that last RKO was amazing.
They have the crowd too, man.
Yep, I agree.
They have the crowd too.
Good too. McAfee.
McAfee was great.
See, I'm trying to figure out what the shit part of night 2 was, because you just named up 2 really good matches. What's that?
Women's tag match was the shits.
I agree.
The New Day match is the shits.
It's because it was fucking 33 seconds long.
Bobby Lashley and Bill Moss should have never happened.
Why? It
was that's a match you could see on fucking Monday Night Raw, and it wouldn't main event Monday Night Raw. Why is it on fucking WrestleMania?
I think only because of I think it's only done that way on WrestleMania because of the way it was presented on Monday Night Raw.
But again, it goes back to.
I get it. Now, to the flip side of the coin, I agree with you. Monday Night Raw or some other pay-per-view is the second match at best.
And it doesn't belong at WrestleMania when you have 2 wrestlers both bearing a title, not wrestling. It just.
What do you think must be said in the boardroom when somebody says that to Vince? Say why is the women have 3 title matches, but the United States title and the Intercontinental title, which was founded by one of the company's fucking pillars, Pat Patterson, also Vince's best fucking friends in real life. How does he not recognize this?
Well, let me put it to you this way. Who are the 2 champions right now?
2 undersized guys.
No. It has nothing to do with the size.
Ricochet and Finn Balor.
2 people, exactly. 2 people who Vince has no faith in. It does not want to and does not push. Look how long it's taken, how many times Finn Balor had to have Triple H go to battle for him to get the push, only to get it taken away. Same thing with Ricochet. And I'm sorry, but Vince does not promote those guys well. So,
and the funny thing of it is, they both resigned recently.
I know. But I mean, money talks, brother. You know that.
Yeah, no, I know that. It's a job. I get it.
But I'll tell you, that's my whole point. And he's in. You know what Vince is probably going to say in that boardroom? Well, it's Bobby Lashley and Omos. I got these two giants fighting each other. I won't even play the race card. I'll just say and leave it at that.
Well,
that's it.
They put almost the right person. MVP is going to help him more than AJ could have helped him.
Right, but that match could have happened on Raw, and MVP could have turned on fucking Bobby Lashley at Raw and did it there.
No, I agree with that. I agree. I do. It's surprising that there was no Intercontinental title or U.S. title on WrestleMania. I don't think it's been like that for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the New Day come out in Big E's fucking gear, and they get jobbed.
Jobbed?
And you got
they were buried.
You got Butch running around like a fucking retard. Excuse my French.
Getting the job.
I don't really like the fact that they made him Butch.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
I'm sure he doesn't either, but he resigned for fucking 3 years, so he's stuck with it.
You know?
I think let me go here for a second. I think with the AJ Edge match, the way Edge worked in that and the promos he's been cutting lately, he's probably you might disagree with me, he's probably the top heel in the business right now. You can disagree with you want, but
it's not the top
heel
in the business. The top heel in this business is between Roman Reigns and MJF.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Kelly.
He's up there. I'm sorry, but I think he's up. He's getting up there.
All right.
He's getting there.
Hear this. Other than him being dark and demonic and having that one snapping fest that he went on.
He's a face.
How can I can't give him
Well, let's see how this gimmick plays out.
The prelude. Yes, there we go. Let's see where it goes from here to put him in the talking of best heel in the business. He's got to put that together for 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year.
I think.
Go, Mike.
I think with Damian Priest added to it, it helps it. And if they do add Ciampa and Ripley, it will definitely elevate it.
Kelly, I'll agree he's on the right road to being one of the top heels in the business. But right now, with the consistency, the 2 top heels that come to my mind is MJF, Roman Reigns. But I have a third guy here that's I believe is becoming one of the biggest heels in the business and is making a name for himself. His name's Matt Cardona.
He's just not seen as much. That's all.
Exactly. You have to follow GCW. You have to follow NWA. I forget where he was on a show last, and
he was NWA.
It was okay. Yeah.
He's going to be one of those guys like Cody that comes back.
Oh yeah, you'll see him real soon back. Real soon.
I saw the owner of GCW and Stephanie McMahon had a picture together at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you guys are talking about Edge and his stable, right? It's clear that AJ and Edge are not done. Could AJ build a new stable with, like, say, Finn?
Well, no. Well, actually, he's right because the rumor is that Finn Balor's actually going to join AJ and help him against Edge.
We'll see what happens. I don't know on that one. I mean, you know how Vince is with stables. He's not a big stables guy. You know, if you have one stable, he's not going to make one to counter it. But, I mean, you can see what the gimmick is, right? You see what Edge's new gimmick is. He's kind of supposed to be like a Lucifer of ways. The new background is a set of wings. And if you notice the way they do the camera, when he walks down the aisle, it shows the 2 wings coming out the back. You have Damian Priest coming in. The idea is the mountain of omnipotent or whatever the fuck it's called. He's gonna be trying to be like a Lucifer type of character or whatever. The idea is,
we'll
I just thought the way he worked with AJ, the heat he had, and the way the wrestling generated itself throughout the match, and the way
the way they worked with each other. It's Rumble's right. He's starting to get there. Maybe, I guess.
He's get there, but he'll never be the top. Listen, at the end of the day, I say top heel in the business today is MJF. He's more of a top heel than Roman Reigns. I mean, the guy lives it, eats it, breathes it like Reigns. But when you have a guy doing autograph sessions and he's telling little girls "fuck you" or saying, "Oh, your father should have put a condom on," and he's staying in character and gimmick. I mean, and you get to see a little bit behind the curtain. There was that thing he put out where he did that thing with the little girl. The girl gave him the finger. He's like, yeah, your mother should have swallowed or something. And then just that you see it happen right as they're leaving, he turns to the dad. He says, hey, can I get a copy of that picture? That was a great picture. And, they know it's a work, but the dude, and then when he talks in character, while out of character, talking about how I'm the best in 2024. I'm going to make millions of dollars and blah, blah, blah. I love it. Just like Roman's doing the right thing. I mean, this whole God mode thing and everything. It's, but Edge, and I'm with you, Jay. I agree. Cardona's up there in the top 5. Edge just turned heel.
Yes.
And I've seen Edge was once the best heel in the business. That was a long time ago. And I don't think he'll ever take that back. He'll be a good heel, but I don't know. I've seen recently in WWE, I mean, it's just, there's some, Charlotte Flair is a pretty damn good heel too. I know you guys are going to kill me, but she's a damn good fucking heel.
She's doing her job because there's a bunch of us that hate her.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So she's a damn good heel.
I think about it this way. She is one of the best wrestlers in the world, female.
Right.
And and she's doing her job as a heel, and that's why she's on top.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Vince can have confidence in her. She's never been injured. You know what I mean? Granted, her father is Ric Flair, but he's another one. Don't be surprised to see him back in the WWE and him make an appearance.
After he said he'd never go back there.
Bullshit.
When he said it.
I know.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm just saying, me too. Bullshit.
So, wrapping up some of the things on night 2. What they didn't steal the show like I thought Seth and Cody did, but they came pretty close. But the way they ended it, I get it. But again, do that on Raw. That took away from what was a great match. It cheesed the ending the way it could have been done. And that's why that's my issue with that match. Damian Priest coming out at the end, they should have waited to the next night.
I agree.
I would
Phil tearing the house down with some comedy, man. That was funny.
Well, that's what I'm going to now because I thought the Sami Zayn match was hilarious. I laughed my ass off.
Props to him because he put him over huge.
Mousetrap table.
That was the best bump I've seen in a while. Just him taking that big bump to the outside. It was awesome.
The funniest part is when we made body slam them.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that too. I'm like, holy shit. But
it made sense the whole Jackass crew got in on the match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was awesome.
I was hoping Steve-O made an appearance, but other than that, it did what it was supposed to do.
You guys know who produced that match, right?
Who?
You guys know who produced that match, right?
No, who?
Nope.
Hurricane.
Really?
Yeah, he just put an article up that thanked WWE for allowing him to produce such a fantastic, comical style match and how they all worked so hard at, putting that match together, and he was very pleased with it, and there was a lot of stuff that went into it back behind the curtain, so to speak, and someday that story will be told, he said.
Nice.
Very underrated person in this business, Shane Helms.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's get stuck with that 3 gimmick, that dancing gimmick.
Yeah.
Then he went from that to the Hurricane.
Yeah. But
Hurricane got over.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the reason why he's underrated is because of his gimmicks.
Yep.
You know, and then you go into the main event, and I'm sorry, but
I'm with you.
they promoted that main event to be, you know, bigger than Andre and Hogan.
Yeah.
It was not. It was
Not even
not
close.
bigger than Andre and Hogan. I'm
No
sorry.
way.
It was
was not bigger
Superman
than
punch suplex. Superman punch suplex. It wasn't. There was no work in there.
But there was even the build up and the lead up in the match itself. I'm sorry, Andre Hogan still today the greatest Mania, in my opinion, the greatest Mania main event of all time.
The build up was better than the match.
It was, and then the match, even before the injury, the match was wasn't.
Has the
shit.
injury been confirmed yet?
No, but
No.
it's either a torn muscle or it's a shoulder. I've read both. But even still, it was just there was no it wasn't the biggest match of all time. No, it wasn't. It
Never.
was terrible. And the fact that they promoted it as such, nope.
All right. So what WrestleMania was Hogan Andre? 2 or 3?
3.
Okay. So you're talking 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Now listen. How many wrestling fans that Vince has right now does he believe in wrestle?
Yeah, no, I
Remember,
I know.
35 freaking years ago, fellas.
You'd be
That's
shocked.
all. That's all I mean.
But that there's even been main events in the last 10 years that I think have been better than that.
There's been middle of the card matches like Hogan Rock.
That's number 2 for me.
Hogan Rock and the Sky. What was that? That was in Toronto Skydome, correct?
Skydome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Toronto, yep.
Years ago.
Yep. That was incredible.
That was
And then being able to
WrestleMania
being able to
17.
talk to Hulk Hogan about that moment was even better.
Yep.
So yeah, now they're just thinking that kids like my son, who's 6 years old, saying it's the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. You know, he don't know. Because that's who the WWE caters to most.
It's
Is
perception.
the children. Children, yes. And
It's
perception.
perception. That's all it is.
Like it wasn't the most stupendous fucking WrestleMania of all time either. Bullshit.
No. Nope. I mean, I'd agree. It was probably the best WrestleMania since WrestleMania 31. But I would say that this WrestleMania wasn't even in the top 10.
I can't
It wasn't even in the top 10.
exactly what WrestleMania it was, but the match quality could have been shitty on it. But my favorite one was the one at Caesar's Palace when they were all dressed in togas.
That was WrestleMania 10 or 9? That was 9 or 10.
I think it was
That's
9.
when The Undertaker wrestled Elegante.
I thought
Yes.
that was that, honestly, and that's
Yeah.
the night Hogan came back out after Yokozuna
Yep.
beat Bret Hart.
Bret
already.
Hart. Yep.
They took the belt from Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Hogan
Bret Hart.
had the black eye.
So I
It
just
looked
thought
good
the
as hell.
ambiance of that was the best WrestleMania in my recollection.
I mean, to me, I think one. I mean, it's kind of hard because WrestleMania 3 was amazing. WrestleMania 5 was amazing. That one was amazing.
WrestleMania 3 was the one that was at 3 different locations, correct?
No, that was WrestleMania 2.
Okay.
2. That was Chicago, LA, and New York.
Yep. I remember
yeah,
watching
yeah,
1 and 2. 1 and 2 were closed circuit television.
Closed circuit
at
television. Yeah.
Yes, I watched them at the Boston Garden. It wasn't
Yep.
until 3 that pay-per-view
started
became
pay-per-view.
available.
Right.
available.
You know, WrestleMania, the one with Hogan, I think it's WrestleMania 18 with The Rock. That was a great one.
Yeah.
The first WrestleMania.
I remember
in Hollywood.
WrestleMania. Yeah, I remember WrestleMania 3 because it has my favorite match of all time: Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage.
Versus Macho Man Randy Savage, one of the greatest matches of all time.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
But
Go to the back.
regardless, so
Go to the back.
that's why Vinny Capelli had said that it was a decent WrestleMania. By no means was it stupendous, and I felt it was booked. It was booked poorly. Like,
see, I was entertained that I didn't look at the booking. I really didn't look at the booking part of that aspect of it. But now that you say it, yeah, night one, I definitely agree that match shouldn't have been on. But can I tell you, I think that they were expecting more out of that match. That they felt that match could get a top-notch tempo to start off the night. And it just didn't go their way.
it should have never. To me, that's not a hot opener. You don't open with a hot tag like that. You know, the only match we didn't talk about was Austin Theory and Pat McAfee, and I'm going to say that was a great match. I thought it was good for what it was. Vince McMahon, on the other hand, there was no need for that. But I understand why they had to do it, to bring out Stone Cold. And that will go down in history as Vince's worst stunner ever taken.
Oh, my God.
Worst.
He's lucky he didn't break Stone Cold didn't break his legs. But, yes, all I was thinking of when I seen Vince McMahon getting ready to fight, I was like, oh, no. Forbes is about to throw his TV across the fucking room. He's committing fan suicide right now.
No, I didn't.
It's funny because I read an article yesterday, I think it was, that said how they were talking about that stunner that he took. And they're like, I think Vince must have forgot how the stunner went, because obviously he forgot the boot to the stomach first and just dropped for the stunner automatically and then couldn't regain his balance afterwards.
Well, he is 70-something years old.
77.
And squatting 1,000 pounds at 3 a.m. in the morning. Did you watch the Pat McAfee thing? He sent Pat McAfee a video at 3 a.m. in the morning, and he squatted 1,000 fucking pounds.
Holy Jesus.
Yep. But anyway, so that's what I think that's the recap in itself, brother. I think that, that's why you heard my opinions, what they were on the network. And I feel that they're validated. But, hey, again, they're just an opinion, and we all got it.
No. Listen, like I said, I think I was more on the lookout to see if I was going to be entertained. I wasn't in the motive process to say to myself, oh, that was a horrible but because I thought that, in my honest opinion, after Boogs hurt his leg, it went downhill from there. So maybe they were expecting a little bit more that would have recaptured to say, oh, that's a decent opening match. But yeah, I when you overall look at things, is there other things that you could have definitely put there to open it? Like I said, everything you do in life, no matter if you think it's perfect or not, when you sit back from the picture, you can always find something that you could have done better or would have done differently. To a certain extent.
I agree, but here's the thing. We're all smart to the business. Unlike the average fan that doesn't know the business like we know it. We know the inside of it. And being someone who wrote wrestling shows with you, and someone who understands, how the psychology of not of a match, but of how a show needs to go, because we all know you got to start a show hot, and then you got to if you have a hot show, you got to throw in the filler match and the shit match. Then in the middle of the show, you got to keep them there, so you got to give them another big match. Then you got to give them a little bit, take a little away, and then you got to finish strong with your main event. And it
would be funny to find out, just to see the way that they came up with the final order of the card. And it would be interesting to know, was there other matches that were suggested to start off the show. You know what I mean?
So
Did
I
somebody
just read
come
that
and
some of the matches
lobby?
were. So I'm reading that there were last minute changes to WrestleMania before in the card that were changed last minute.
Okay.
That's not including the fact that they had to throw out the New Day match because people were complaining.
Listen,
So-
night one, you know why I like night one the most? I think that they let the guys really wrestle for the first time in a long time. I thought the matches went a little longer. I thought the matches looked less planned out, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think maybe that had to do with why they cancel out a match here or there.
I think I'll put it this way: if you removed Seth and Cody, night one was a shit. It wasn't as good.
Okay.
Night one would have been carried by Stone Cold, but
Right.
between Becky and her match and how she came out and for a women's match, they stole the show for a women's match.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best women's matches I've seen in a while.
I would have liked to have. Now that when you say that, that would have been a great match to start the show with.
I'm telling you, that should have been the opener. That would have been
Yeah.
a phenomenal opener.
You know what I mean?
The women's title match at the opener and the match that they gave, that would have been fucking amazing. But
I'll be honest. I like I said, I wasn't really watching the show to look for what I could pull a part off of it, so to speak. I just wanted to be entertained. Because in all aspects of life, WrestleMania has always been a special day in my house ever since my daughter was born. My daughter puts up signs for it. She does little raffles for it. Now my son's into it, knows what's going on. So I was more or less watching how excited my kids were. We had a little contest going on. I wish I had the sheet, but my daughter had 16 matches, all the matches listed, and we picked all the winners. I think I was more involved on watching the quality of the matches. I wasn't. Like I said, I could sit back like you and rewatch the whole thing and say, come up with my analogy, but I'm just gonna say it in a whole. From a fan standpoint and a father standpoint, I thought both days they knocked it out of the ballpark. And I look at it the way that I heard the crowd react to everything, watching the pre-shows and watching the people outside, how happy those fans were. I just felt the ambiance and everything in the collective as I grew up, and we all grew up wrestling fans. I thought it was fucking awesome. I think that sometimes being in the business really spoiled something that I ultimately fucking have loved since I was a 5-year-old kid, man.
That's, I hate to say it, but I'm going to put it to you this way, Jay. I love the movies, and I'm a fan of movies. I pay $20 for a movie, and I go sit in the movie theater. If the show's not as good as what I thought it was, I'm going to critique it.
Yeah,
I may have enjoyed the movie, but I'm still going to critique it. And again, being in this business 20-something years, I'm smart to the business. I'm smart to the way things are done. I'm going to watch the show, and I'm going to appreciate it, but I'm going to critique it because at the end of the day, I look at it and I say, yeah, it was an entertaining show, but it could have been better. Just like a movie, I can buy a movie ticket, go to the movies and say, that was a good movie, but it could have been fucking better. Or it's going to be one of those movies where I'm like, oh my God, that was worth every dime I just fucking spent.
Yeah.
And I have those movies that I've been to, and I've had those wrestling moments where I've watched a pay-per-view and I've walked out and they said, this was one of the best pay-per-views I've ever seen. There's nothing I can say bad about it.
Yeah.
Just like Monday Night Raw was probably one of the worst Raws after WrestleMania in as long as I can remember. There were a couple of good matches. Storytelling was terrible. Usually the big night after Raw is like that huge night, and it's not anymore. Now it's SmackDown because Roman Reigns said it. I'll let you know what we're doing on SmackDown. So what's that tell you? And Monday Night Raw just was it was bland. It was the storytelling was There was like no follow up, nothing. Like I would have hoped to have seen Logan Paul come out or fucking something. Nothing. Yeah, big deal. Oh, I saw Veer Mahan come out, who I thought was gonna join the fucking Miz because they were wearing the same color gear. And then I watched him look cockeyed. You're telling me the biggest story of the night is gonna be fucking Damian Priest in joining, and he's terrible on the mic, by the way. Damian Priest, and you're gonna tell me the other big story. I mean, Cody Rhodes. That was the only thing that was really awesome that night. You saw nothing with Stone Cold. You saw really nothing with Kevin Owens. I mean, yeah, you did, but it was nothing.
I want Forbes to come back on because I want to tell him who my favorite character on Monday Night Raw is.
It's Ezekiel.
Nope. Except frickin' Rollins.
Yeah.
But he picks him apart now. Like,
that's because it's Florsy. That's why he picks everybody apart.
Flamboyant suits, prances around like Peter Pan. I like his character, and I can tell you this: the arenas like his character. The crowd just keeps on continuously going, oh, like, you know you're over when you're trying to be a heel and they're still chanting your music.
Yep.
Yeah.
There he is.
I
know he's not a heel. He's he's an annoying person. So, Forbes, we're talking about your favorite Monday Night Raw character.
Yes.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, he's annoying.
I like him. I find nothing wrong with his flamboyant suits. I like the fact that he dances around like Peter Pan, and I love his laugh. Okay? I thought it was great that he came out and just
Pretty good impression.
pranced around like this and looked at Cody Rhodes and went, I loved it.
Cody Rhodes is more of a main eventer than him right now, in my opinion.
Oh, my God.
You guys
Wait.
disagree with
Say
me
that
on
again?
this?
I think
you guys disagree with me on this, but if Bray Wyatt were to come back, he should have came back the Monday night after the Raw after WrestleMania.
Wyatt's not coming back.
If he
But
were,
I would agree. It would have been, if he were, it would have been Monday Night Raw.
And his suits remind me of a new and modern day Don Cherry.
I thought that too. Well, yes. Yes, I thought.
I have thought that since the day he started dressing like that.
So Forbesy, right there, his suits are over with me because Don Cherry was probably one of the best coaches in the Bruins history, was a great on-air personality, and I ate at his wing shop when I was in Canada. Loved it.
You know that
Newfoundland. Newfoundland.
Yep. I ate at Don Cherry's, baby.
I'm just saying, I also like the black vest wearing, two-tone color hair stuff wrong. Also, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I get it. You love the era of the Shield. You love the Hounds of Justice.
Oh, Jesus.
That's when he was champ, man. Like that was his best title run.
And that's also when he was most injured. Think about it.
So I guess that floating around like Peter Pan in feminine suits will stop him from getting injured now.
I like his Forbes. I like his suits. I'll be honest with you. I could picture you in one of them. prancing around like fucking Peter Pan.
Listen, the
One
thing
with
is
fucking like pineapples on it, and it being bright gold.
listen, part of the gimmick is his idea is he's supposed to be like a cross between the Joker
Yes.
and someone who's completely sane and completely mentally irregular, and he taps into a little bit of that whole Joker mentality meets flamboyance.
That's who he reminds me of the Joker.
Right now I like the gimmick. I wish he could tap into it a little bit more and maybe see a little bit more of like him alternating from serious to the funny side in his interviews, because I think that would be great
almost
character
like
development.
Two-Face.
I was just going
In
to
a
say
way,
that.
yeah. So, I like it. I do. I like it. And I like Cody Rhodes being brought back as the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes.
What's next for now? Who's going to be fed first? McIntyre?
Oh, McIntyre, from what I hear. Who knows? But I'm hearing it's Drew.
So if the title is unified, say we go to SummerSlam, is he going to have two separate matches, or is both belts going to be defended all the time?
So that's the thing. I'm still, Jay, you may have heard the same stuff. I'm hearing that the titles that the titles will not stay unified a long time.
I heard that
they
too.
are separating.
I heard that too.
He's getting it soon.
That's who, Cody?
Yeah.
Cody's getting it soon, yes.
The problem with that is you can't, as a booker, you can't put him in two complete separate feuds for two separate titles. It has to be one or the other, because you can't have him running two storylines like that. It would take away from the product. If it's gonna be Cody, then let him work Cody. Let Cody get the belt off of him. If it's gonna be Drew, let it be Drew. Obviously, Drew ain't getting the belt off of him. But I don't know how they're gonna work this.
Would they?
I have to go, gentlemen. I have to get up at 4:30. So
All right, brother. Good to see you.
I will. We doing anything Saturday or no?
No, I have a special arrangement on Saturday. It's the father-daughter dance at my daughter's school.
Well, that comes first. All right. Have a good night, guys.
All right, brother.
Hey,
Yeah, brother, take care, Mike.
Telling on exactly what you're talking about, to follow up with you on this. What is the more prestigious WWE title? The
I
Universal
was just going to ask.
or the black one?
You want my opinion? The black one.
Of course it is. Okay. So which one does Cody go for, and which one does
black one? The black one, because the Universal title belongs to, it is the SmackDown title. The black one is more of the Raw title. And in my opinion, that's the title Cody goes after.
that's the actual
Now,
title, and the one that he's talking about in his storyline, and the one that Dusty Madison Square
Correct. Correct.
the one in Madison Square Garden, technically, from what I understand, the way it's supposed to be logically written is that the Universal Championship is supposed to be the WWE title or WWF title, while the other belt, meaning the World Heavyweight Championship, that's supposed to be the lineage that they bought from the NWA and WCW, from what I understand. That's the way it's supposed to be put over. That's all.
That was the original method, Jay. You're right. And that's changed. They've kind of retconned all that, I think, because when you look at it now, they separate, they say the longest reigning Universal Heavyweight Champion, because that is the newest title.
Yeah,
But
I get it.
The idea of that is just to have let's put it this way. If there was no brand split, there would be one title, and it would be the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the Universal title.
I know.
So
yeah,
you are right, but I think that's been retconned.
That's the way I look at it. This is just me. I look at the World Heavyweight Championship as NWA WCW, and I look at the WWE Universal Championship as the lineage title being the the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. And the reason why
I think you need to change that because
Yep.
it's actually the other way. It was the Universal title was remember, Ric Flair always had the bigger title. That was
But the
technically
WWE belt, ever since we were kids, they never said world champion. It was always World Wrestling Federation or
heavyweight
world
champion.
Yes. And the
It was always
reason
heavyweight
why they never said world champion is because world was always in World Wrestling Entertainment or World Wrestling Federation, where the National Wrestling Alliance would say world heavyweight champion. And that's all. That's the way I've always taken it.
Fucking look at Forbesy trying to think he's Mickey Rourke over here with the fucking sunglasses on.
Mickey Rourke.
Look at him. He looks like fucking Mickey Rourke over here.
Did we cover the Supercard of Honor and the Briscoes and FTR or what?
No.
Nope.
I didn't bring it up.
I watched part of the show. I thought it was decent. Thought it was, I think Ring of Honor, no matter what, you're gonna have to get mainstream Forbes.
I know. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because to me, it's still underground. It's just
Bray
like
Wyatt did not show up to Ring of Honor. So
It was a banger of a match, man. It was. The Briscoes need to be seen on television real quick, man, because they're not getting any younger.
Well, can I tell it all has to do with Warner.
I know what it has
Won't
to do
let
with.
him on TV. Won't let the brother on TV, even though he recanted and apologized for what it was ever said. And you know what? I can kind of see why. Because one of their main players in that locker room is a transgender wrestler.
well, either way, you know.
Do you forget
And
the
I think-
Briscoes, Jay? I mean, come on.
Say what? Do I forgive the Briscoes? Listen.
You got a Warrior Award for a homophobic. Like the list is long on Ultimate Warrior, and he's got an award named after him.
It's not Warner. It's not Warner Brothers and AEW. It's the W. I'll be honest with you. I just don't think that they've ever been on the WWE's radar. I don't think that they've ever wanted to be on the WWE's radar. How's that?
Well,
I
what
think-
you want to be?
What?
If you're a tag team,
Yeah.
a tag team, you go to the WWE to die as a tag team. You don't go there if you want to be. If you're a legit tag team like them, like
like the Viking Raiders that just keep on taking the money and renewing contracts.
yeah, well, those guys, they're just not it. I mean, hey, what do I want to tell you? If you're a tag team and you want to make money, I mean, if you want a tag team and you have a name, some guys, it's more about the business than it is about the money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hey, Forbes?
Yeah.
You spelled clown wrong, son.
That was addressed about 167 minutes ago.
Okay, well, I wasn't on that.
He got on halfway through. He just noticed it now. Look at you, fucking Mickey Rourke.
Mickey
That's
Rourke
who
over
he
here.
is.
Do you always chew your gum like that? Fucking whomping away. Jesus Christ.
He's like, I wonder if they think I'm an AEW superstar out here in Boston.
Just give him a little fucking.
I'm surprised you're not at the show and you didn't bang into work tonight.
Oh, they're in Boston tonight?
Come on.
Yeah.
Who's in Boston tonight?
AEW.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm all set with that trip to the fucking whatever. Where is it? The BU Songus Arena?
Yeah.
The Agganis Arena, right?
The Agganis, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all set.
It's packed.
I'm sure they started the Owen Hart Cup tonight, right?
Yeah. I can tell you this. AEW is truly not a kids promotion because there is not in hindsight, ringside wise, there's no little kids.
No, it's not a little kids promotion. It's a wrestling promotion.
They're two different audiences, bud. Two different audiences.
Exactly.
I know that. I'm just trying to reiterate.
All right.
And that's okay,
Prediction.
right?
All right, boys. Boys, prediction time. I'm going to ask a couple questions. I want you honest to God answers. Number one, does Roman Reigns retain at least one of his titles until WrestleMania 39?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second question. Do you honestly believe it's going to be The Rock at WrestleMania 39?
Yes.
No. I'm not 100% convinced. No, I am not.
Nope, because I think that The Rock would have showed up. They would have had the WrestleMania 39 sign, and he would have pointed to it, and that's how they would have left it like they did years ago. Remember, they built The Rock and Cena for a year. Twice. A year. Twice.
I'll put it. Okay, how's this? I'll give the Rock match in my brain of wanting to happen. I'll give it another. I will give it. If it doesn't happen by SummerSlam, it ain't gonna happen.
I agree, Jay. You know what, too? When they did Rock Cena, you got to remember, man, Rock was 10 years younger than he is now, and he got injured the last time that he was involved in a Mania. There's just too much at risk to build a year-long feud. If they do it, it's SummerSlam or bust. I agree.
And here's another reason why I don't believe that. I really believed it was going to be him, honestly. He just signed a deal to go do a bodybuilding competition, a pro bodybuilding competition.
So that kind of goes backwards. Will Roman hold it till next WrestleMania? That's a good question now. Now I don't know.
And we all know if he's going to go do a bodybuilding competition, he's going to be so lean that I cannot picture him coming back to wrestle he'll still be big, but he will be so susceptible to injury, it won't be funny. Because he's definitely going to be on some of the highest, most medicated fucking growth hormones and steroids known to man, which is definitely it's a key for injury.
I agree.
Okay. Next question. Who will be the next big name you guys think in the year 2022 to jump ship either to WWE or to AEW?
Moxley.
Who?
John Moxley.
You think Moxie's coming back this year?
Yep.
Okay. What about you guys?
The Young Bucks.
Okay. Kelly?
After his title run, Adam Page.
Yeah. And then fucking Forbesy.
Well, I can't say where to where, but it's Bray Wyatt is showing up somewhere.
Okay. All right.
Keep the questions coming. This is fun. Vin. Keep the questions.
Another big question here. Do you guys envision Becky Lynch regaining a title by the end of this year?
No. I picture Becky Lynch becoming a big Hollywood superhero star that I see her walking away from wrestling in the next year.
All right, I'm on the same page as you there. That's what I envisioned.
Yeah,
okay.
Me too. After you said that tonight, yeah.
Okay.
And I think that when you become a parent, especially a mom, you're gonna say to yourself, I can make more money. Granted, it's long hours, but once it's the film or whatever is wrapped up, I'm done. And I'm able to be with my family. So I think injury-wise, I think when you look at it, Becky's done everything she's needed to do in this business. I believe the WWE and wrestling will always be there, but I believe that if this superhero gimmick takes off, I think the full-time wrestling days of Becky Lynch are over.
Okay.
Well put.
Does Vince McMahon step down in 2022 as a full-time, like the full-time head of WWE Raw? And if so, is Triple H taking over? Now that
Not
we've
yet.
seen Triple H, and the reason why I asked that question is he's come out on TV numerous times lately. He got to do that big thing at WrestleMania. There has been talk of him taking over Raw to bring it back. Do you think Vince steps down as the full-time head of Raw? And do you think Triple H takes over Raw?
No. I
Not
do
yet.
not ever see Vince McMahon giving up anything that he's put his heart, his soul, and every day of his fucking life in the past 40 years into. I do not see that. Not after seeing him on the Pat McAfee show, not after seeing him wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think that, and then you saying that he's over here squatting 1,000 pounds at 77. Absolutely not. I don't think his
Vince,
marriage. I honestly don't believe that his marriage it matters to Linda McMahon because they've already been in this type of relationship for 40 years. But I would say that I could see him and Triple H. Him and Triple H would be working together on Raw.
Okay.
Yeah, but can they coexist? That's the bigger question.
I think Mickey. I think they have
Triple
to.
H has no
coexist.
choice
I
but
think
to.
they got no choice.
They have to. Yeah.
What were you
Vince
saying? Shut up, Cowan.
will die in Gorilla. He will
Well
take his
said.
last
That
breath.
I agree with.
He will take his last breath in Gorilla.
Okay, last question. In 2022, will
Yes.
Matt Cardona return to the WWE this year?
I didn't hear who you said.
Matt Cardona.
I
Matt
think
Cardona. Will we see him back in the WWE?
God, I hope not.
Can I add a question?
yeah.
Sure.
Question number 11. Will Ezekiel be the world champion by the end of 2022?
Yes.
All right. So first, I'm going to answer what was the first one was
Cardona.
Matt Cardona. Mickey Biggs is just things we don't see eye to eye on. Matt Cardona is one of the top heels in the
Oh,
business.
he is. I give you that.
He's
but
one of the
I can't
best
stand him.
He's one of the best self-promoting pro wrestlers in the
I'll give you that as
past
well.
10 years.
I give you
He
that as
has
well.
been doing things on social media that has laid platform for other guys to follow. So, with that being said, I think Vince McMahon noticed that he knew how to market himself. And I think when Vince fires you and lets you go, he tells you. He tells you right away, listen, I love the way you do this. I love the way you do that. But what you need right now is for me to fire your ass. You're going to go out and utilize all them skills you got and make yourself a household name. And then when you come back here, I'm going to give you millions of dollars.
I agree with that.
Okay? Now, no, I don't see him coming back in 2022, but I see him coming back at the Royal Rumble in 2023.
Okay.
Him and Chelsea Green. If he doesn't have Chelsea Green in his corner, it's not the New Age Macho Man Randy Savage and Elizabeth. Because
I
that's
agree.
the way I look at him and her together. And I love the fact of that. I've always wanted to see a male-female duo where he puts her in harm's way, or she, like, I think that, but I say in 2023, and he'll be with Chelsea Green.
I can see that.
Yep.
Anyways, guys, I got to cut this because I have to go live on StreamYard for NWA Spotlight. We are going on. Matter of fact, he's probably logging in now. So anybody that wants to tune into that, come on over to NWA Spotlight.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool, brother.
Take care, Mickey Biggs.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, Miggy.
So, well, you know what? I'm just gonna say that I think something is going to happen in 2022 that's gonna. I want to say it's gonna help WWE. I think the WWE is gonna make a move or two. I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be talent related or television related. Something just tells me there's something in the works. I feel like there's something that's going to happen with Triple H. I think he's going to take over more control of Raw. So I think Vince is starting to see the fact that Raw is falling. It's failing. It's not the flagship anymore. SmackDown is the flagship show, if that's where they're doing all the big shit. And I think if I was a network, I'd be like, hey, Vince, I'm not going to give you as much money this time because your show's not producing like it used to. Change something, or I'll give you a TV deal, but it's not going to be as good. And I just think that we're going to have to see something big, and I do think I think we're going to see something talented wise. I mean, I definitely think we're going to see a big talent move, but I don't think it's going to be Moxley. I don't think it'll be Adam
I think it could be Jericho.
Could be Jericho, but
Jericho jumping back ship with the WWE.
I don't know if it would have as much of an impact, but I'm going to put this out there. I wouldn't be shocked if MJF tries to get out of his contract now or at some point this year, because he has been sucking WWE dick lately in a lot of interviews, like putting them over hardcore. Like he is pretty much saying in 2024, I'm going to the WWE. He's saying he's the full free agent, but we'll listen to some of his interviews that he's done lately. And I'll tell you, I think he's going to try to make the waves, because him and Tony Khan aren't seeing eye to eye right now. And something tells me he's going to try to get out of his contract.
Well,
he's going to try
he
to go
bitched at him because TK bitched at him for that shit. That's why.
Yeah, well,
I think it's in the cards for MJF to get that title within the next year.
CM Punk's doing the title run now, though. So
yeah, I know.
I just don't see. I think he's listen. He knows. MJF knows hasn't even hit the peak of his career, and there'll be more money for him if he got to the WWE and peaked in the WWE. I don't know. I could see it though. I think it would be awesome if it happens.
They'd water him down a bit, though. You know that.
I know it, but
not if they put him on SmackDown.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's why. That's why SmackDown has become the flagship product, because you can get away with more on Fox Network.
Yeah, but see, you know what? If Fox, if Raw was on a Friday night, it's just a victim of circumstance for the day that they were going to give that day out. You know what I mean? Because they weren't going to give them that show on a Monday. It was just they couldn't make it Friday Night Raw. You just can't do it. Raw is just a victim of circumstance.
Well,
I think a lot will be determined on how Cody is booked, on how many jumps back, what to WWE, AEW guys go, and I think that it's in their best interest to make sure Cody is booked like a fucking champ. You know what I mean? Which I think he will be.
I think that it's part of the. I'm going to honestly believe that it's part of the written into the contract. I don't think he'd go back to anything less than.
Yeah,
why would you? Just to come and cut a promo to say I'm all grown up now?
Yep.
Like
I think you're right, Jay.
Makes absolutely no sense. I think if I'm going to sit down with Vince McMahon, I'm going to want everything that I want, because he already had a comfortable seat where he was.
Yep.
And I honestly... What?
Did you guys listen to like Cody's in-depth interview after Mania?
No, but I read about it.
It was very telling. You know, I think, you know, the speculation was that he wasn't given control and everything like that. But like, you got to remember, Cody like booked himself out of title pictures, being an EVP. It was just too many hats to wear for him. He just wants to be a fucking world champion.
Yep.
And get paid.
Yep.
Listen, I think with Cody, and I wrote this when I saw something on the dirt sheet and somebody was shitting on Cody, and I said flat out, you know, the kid grew up in the business. He grew up in the WWE. He wanted to make a name for himself that wasn't attached to Dusty Rhodes. And, you know, he's attached to Dusty Rhodes, but he wanted to be able to say, I'm Cody Rhodes. I made my name. I did it for me. I did, you know, and he learned, you know, he found himself in the business. He found his worth. Like I said earlier, he did what he did the right thing. He left and he came back. And he's bigger now than when he was when he left.
It all makes perfect sense now. It really does.
It does.
Seriously, like, and at the end of the day, I think WWE needs Cody more than AEW does. Cody really didn't have a spot really there anymore. Like, he booked himself out.
I agree, and I think Cody is bigger than Cody's. I think character-wise, Cody doesn't belong in AEW anymore. Cody belongs in WWE, and I think that he realizes now that the business works a certain way. You can either be a wrestler, or you can be a sports entertainer who wrestles and make all this extra money and tell these stories and have all these bigger deals. And I think at the end of the day, you know, he looked at what his father probably would have told him, go do what you do, son, and then come back. Go and come back. Go and come back.
Plus he's a new dad, right? And it's like, he had a vision of retiring at 40, which he won't, but man, it's about making that money, dude, and he's gonna stockpile a whole hell of a lot more with WWE than AEW. That's for damn sure.
I think Cody is bigger. Cody is the character Cody Rhodes, the wrestler Cody Rhodes. The wrestler Cody Rhodes can wrestle anywhere, but I think the character of Cody Rhodes and the personification of what in the legacy of Cody Rhodes belongs to WWE. It's not meant for AEW now. It's meant for the WWE.
It is true.
Hey, and make no mistake, man, all of that booing, dude, that got to him.
I think so. But I also think that he realized that he was going around in circles. There was nothing left for him to do. And I also think, like I said, I think he grew in the business. I think he realized that the Hunter Hearst Helmsleys were doing what was best for business, and they were smart motherfuckers. And I think he realized the way Vince does business long term would make him a shit ton more money, and that I think he appreciates the fact that, yeah, he did the Stardust gimmick and he fucking hated it, and he did the other gimmicks and he hated them. He had to leave. That's all right. And he had to leave the WWE and go make a name for himself to come back and make it be that name that he made for himself and make the money off of it.
True. Well, I think we've covered a lot of bases this evening here on Wednesday Night Wrap Up. So I'm pretty well said what I needed to say. I thought it was a good. I thought it was a great week from Wednesday on in pro wrestling from a lot of things that I watched that were pertaining to WrestleMania week. So
I agree. I was entertained the whole week through. Everything was entertaining.
Yep.
I was entertained. I think my thing is, unfortunately, I think part of it was the anticipation of seeing the Taker go in the Hall of Fame and Stone Cold coming back. I think if those two things were removed, it wouldn't have been
would have been horrendous.
Exactly.
Would have been horrendous. Yes, I agree. Forbesy, what are you going to say? We're parting ways.
I hit a speed bump. What did I miss? What were the closing statements?
Just, I thought it was a great week in wrestling in general last week. Just all the stuff that happened, whether it was GCW, Ring of Honor, Impact having a show, NXT, the Hall of Fame. I thought in all, it was a great week of pro wrestling last week.
Guys, it usually always is. In WWE's case, we cannot lose sight of the fact that a lot of that entertainment came from your Stone Colds, your Logan Pauls,
Yep.
your McAfees, Johnny Knoxville, the outside entities. Now it's back to reality. Now it's just like, okay, does the creative and booking go back down to the shitter? You got something hot with Cody. That's exciting. But outside of that, what are we looking at? Edge's stable looks pretty good. That's interesting. But what's next? Like, I don't know. I just don't see it. Like, Roman's got an announcement for Friday, which we all know will be Drew McIntyre. Yawn. But you got to bridge the gap to Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, so people got to get fed to him. I mean, Austin Theory comes out looking like a superstar to me, so I hope that he gets a rocket. I think he's great. That's a new star. That's someone they, that they should be pushing. I'd like to see someone like Dexter Lumis get called up, maybe.
Yeah.
Give us some new stars, man.
I think you're going to see Braun Breaker called up real soon.
Well, he just won the NXT title, so that kind of sent that backwards a little bit.
I think they're still going to keep on feeding him on WWE TV, though.
Yeah, but he fucking jobbed out fucking Walter last night. Like, wow. Maybe he's going to see Walter.
You really jobbed Walter out?
Yes.
It was a great match. I thought the match was decent.
I'll have to watch it. How long did the match go?
10, 15.
Oh, then that's not a job. He just put him over.
Well, maybe Walter comes.
They're saying that Imperium is the next. All three. Walter and the tag team.
Eichner walked out on the German guy in their tag match.
Oh, really?
Yep, Eichner walked out, yeah.
Okay, then in the dirt sheet, that was 6 different names that I had seen for call-ups.
Hey, I got a prediction for you, and I'm going to hate to say this, but we're going to get a new round of WWE releases soon. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a name that's going to be on that WWE release list.
Okay.
Alexa Bliss.
I was just going to bring that up, Lee. That was my next comment. Go ahead.
Is she injured again?
No, she's not.
Why do you think they're going to release her then?
They brought her back for that one thing, and they've done nothing with her since.
I can see to it then.
She wasn't invited to WrestleMania weekend. Oh, she wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
She wasn't even there.
Who are you talking about?
Alexa Bliss.
Oh, yeah. I heard there's some weird shit. Going there.
She's not happy either because so.
I think you'll see like the Apollo Cruises, the Hurt Business guys, maybe Dijak. But I
think you'll see the Mason T-Bar.
Yeah, Mason T-Bar.
Maybe Shotzi.
No, she's too talented.
I agree.
She hasn't been on TV in how long?
A while.
That's why you might see Shotzi.
But I heard she was injured. She broke her wrist.
People got fired for being out for mental fucking health.
Yes.
So, but I think the big name you're going to see on that list is going to be Alexa Bliss.
I can see that.
Hey, whatever happened to the Control Your Narrative debut? Wasn't that supposed to have happened already? Somewhere?
Supposed to happen last week.
Because rumors have it that Braun Strowman is in negotiations to return to WWE.
So it didn't happen?
No. I've seen nothing on it.
Now I know Bray did a Comic-Con over the weekend.
He did a wrestling.
I haven't seen anything on that, any footage or any questions answered, nothing. But it did happen.
Yeah, he was at the WrestleCon. Yep.
Was there pictures of him?
No, he was confirmed there, but he just that was it.
But I wouldn't say, does anybody take any pictures of him for proof?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything surfaced.
Yeah. Well, I think Forbes hit another speed bump, and that's my time to go. So with that being said, fellas, we'll see you next week, and hopefully some good news will pop off in the world of professional wrestling.
All right.
All right, fellas.
All right.
Have a great evening. Thank you, everyone in Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. And we're going to end it the way we began it.